Clarity and transparency. So our brain works in pictures. So let me give you a quick visual to explain what I mean. Imagine you have three objects, a house and a tree and a car, and you put them all on the same canvas. Okay, so now if they are sitting right on top of each other, it just looks like a big mess. You can't tell where the house ends, where the tree begins, because the car is pretty much blocking everything else. But if you give each object its own space on the canvas, suddenly everything is clear. Now that's exactly what happens in the orchestration. If you stack too many notes in the same register, everything overlaps and it becomes muddy. So we can avoid that problem by reminding ourselves of the instrumentation. You probably went through that already, but I don't mean the fancy theory book definition. I simply mean knowing the practical ranges of the instruments. Let's take a look at a few examples so you can hear the difference between a muddy overlap and a clean, transparent orchestration. Sounds good? Let's jump right in. Many thanks to Mark Berkowitz, one of the wonderful interval magicians who wrote this fantastic composition, and we are just looking at an excerpt. Now let me first play you this first page, and you will see we have a pedal tone in the cello, the double basses, and the violins, and especially in between the A from the cello and the A from the first violins. All the action is happening in the woodwind section. So let's listen to that real quick. Okay. Especially when we get close or in fact on this pedal tone with this A here and also this A here, we create a problem when we move this thing down. So now we are on the same note, and please have another listen to this thing and you will realize now the open space that we just heard is occupied already. So without any question, this version is better and more transparent. Let me show you another example. And here I want to highlight the horns and how they play below the strings section. So let me first show you this with the whole orchestra. Okay, so what really happens is the horns playing against the strings. There's a little bit of harmonization going on even, but they all have their own register. Now, what happened if we took these guys and moved them one octave up? So therefore, I'm using the trumpets because the horns would run out of playable register. That is why we have to switch to other instruments. And now, literally, the trumpets play over the high strings, and they all play in the same register. Have a listen. Especially at around here, where the strings move exactly over those notes, it's not a very nice sound. So let me just highlight this part. So let's go back real quick to the horns. And again, I want to highlight this part. Way better. And that is how you maintain clarity and transparency in your own orchestrations.